Hey everybody, this is Prather. I'm the band leader and producer. I'm going to be doing a quick tutorial today on the way that I program drums using Reason drum kits. And we're here in my home studio of sorts, so you can see obviously this is not a place where I could track drums normally, but I definitely used programming to great effect on my new record, Groove Orchestra. So you can check that out at www.samuelprather.com. But let's get right into it.
Let's get started with the rack. All my effects and dynamics processing is on the left. And there's 3 loops to get started. A bass loop I made with Reason basses and 2 Rex loops. And also you'll see a redrum here. You can use a Kong. We're going to do the programming with this, but I'm just used to using the redrum, so that's what I'm going to use for the demonstration today. And also here we have a custom drum kit that I made from Reason drum kits. I'll show the devices real quick. This is obviously a mixer where all the things are split up. And all the instruments are nicely kind of tucked into separate NXTs, so you can sub them out and experiment. They have these preset NXTs so that you can try out different bass drums, different snares. So you can really kind of get your own sound, what you need specifically for the track. I'll make a link available to this specific kit so you can check it out, but definitely I encourage you to experiment.
Okay, warning, I'm going to stop you right here. You cannot program organic live sounding drums unless you actually listen to organic live sounding drums or go see them in performances live. There is no substitute for that part of the work. So even if you don't play drums, you might be able to program without playing drums, but if you don't hear drums, if you don't see drummers play, it's a very, very hard thing to do.
Okay, so on the first track, you'll see we have a bass drum set up on the dominant beats, a couple little lightly accented things off the beat. The snares on 2 and 4, and in channel 8 we have the hi-hat pattern, which is also pretty standard, but just a couple things to spice it up. I'm going to copy that pattern to the track. As you'll see here, I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go ahead and make 3 copies of that in different lanes on my Combinator. Okay, so when I open one of these, you'll see all the information. I'm going to remove both the snare and the bass drum from this channel. I'm going to go to the channel below that and remove the hi-hat information and the bass from this channel. So it's just snare. And then on this channel, I'm going to get rid of the hi-hat and the snare stuff. So that way, now all of our channels are just going to be, hi-hat in the hi-hat channel, snare in the snare, and bass in the bass channel. This is going to make it a lot easier when it comes time to manipulate these separately. I'm going to go ahead and copy these into our verse. And paste. And then I'm going to also do that for the other parts too, because the basic groove can just, be there throughout the song. We're just going to make the changes as needed, which is one of the really cool things about blocks. That's another tutorial. I'm going to move that first hi-hat up to a crash to start the groove off, and I'm going to just pull up some of these hi-hat notes here strategically here to create some variation. I'm going to make the same variation throughout the course of the loop. Obviously, I've moved the events on the hi-hat from the tom lane, which they were programmed on, up to the closed hi-hat lane. And I'm just using these variations here to create some open and closed hi-hat effects that a normal drummer would do if they were playing live. Have fun with these too, but just keep in mind that unnecessary variation for no reason isn't really a good thing for a drummer. You want them to be steady and in the pocket. All right, so actually what I'm going to do, I liked what I did. I'm going to copy that now into the verse so that the verse has the same pattern. Okay, so I might have done a couple other things, but not too much. Now I'm just going to take what I finished and draw it into the timeline. Once again, blocks makes life so much easier with this feature. So I'm just going to make a song format here, verse, pre-hook, and chorus, and there it is. Just that fast. Let's take a listen to the playback. As you can hear, the drum pattern clearly sounds better on Reason drum kits, but it's still missing something. It still is a little bit too rigid. So what I'm going to do is open up the regroove. So now let's take a look at the regroove. Open it that way. Notice that I've set the slide to 18 ticks. That's behind the beat. And then the shuffle is set at 62%. I have a different shuffle on channel A2, and there's no slide, so it's right on the beat, but there's a shuffle on it. And then I'm going to go individually into my channels and enable the regroove for those specific channels. So now that same shuffle and slide that I put in channel 1 is available for me to put on my hi-hat channel. And then for my kick, I'm going to use that 66% shuffle. All right, now I'm also going to add some verb of the same type to all the channels. Differing amounts based on taste, but I like to make the drums feel like they're in the same room as the other instruments. That's also helped out by the dynamics processing on the other side. And now to just take a listen all together. All right, not too shabby, especially considering that we just laid out pretty much the format for the whole song just in a couple minutes. And while we might not have fooled any real drummers into thinking that this is a real drummer yet, this is a very good structure on which to record other parts of the tune. So we could definitely bring in a real bass player or bring in a whole band to record, and it's going to feel pretty good for them to record with this behind them. The other thing is I don't want to clutter it up too much at this point, because if there's going to be a vocal or horn parts, I want there to be space. And because this is Reason, I can literally change anything at any point in the process. So there's no need for me to worry about that stuff now. I can just wait for the song to develop and then add my fills and changes as needed.
All right, so if you hung out this far, definitely just experiment, do your thing, try what works for you, and hopefully I'll have some more videos getting a little bit more in depth as far as fills later on. So like, share, and also visit my website, samuelprather.com.